So what's the best diet? We're about to find out. I'm Dr. Patty Barch. I'm a traditional naturopath and the founder and owner of Naturally Unbridled Wellness in Onalaska, Wisconsin, and naturallyunbridled.com. This is Down the Ridge with Dr. Patty, where I give you 7 to 10 minutes of holistic life and wellness information on my way to work. And today we're going to talk about ideal diets. I'll get this question a lot from people. What's the best diet? What's the best diet? And you know, everybody has their favorite, right? You're gonna hear about people evangelizing carnivore, vegan, paleo, keto, right? All of those things. And I like to use nature as a guide. So if we use nature as a guide to make decisions on the best ways, best things to do for our body, it's going to make a lot of sense, right? So some things that don't make a lot of sense are these extreme diets. Because if you think about, and I know it's going to trigger a lot of people because everybody is like, you know, so bought into their particular diet, blah, blah, blah. But if we were still living in tribes of hunters and gatherers, which our bodies evolved to do over a long time, we would have small amounts of food shared amongst the tribe. So when it comes to meat, for example, right? So the hunters would go out and they would, you know, maybe they would kill something and bring it back to the tribe, but maybe they wouldn't. They might come back empty-handed once in a while. So when it comes to meat, portions would be small because they would be shared amongst the tribe, and they would not be at every meal. Meat was, you know, a privilege to be able to have. Versus the gatherers, I always say, like, you know, women are more likely to benefit from a grazing type of lifestyle where you're eating small amounts throughout the day, because that's what the gatherers would be doing. Going out into the woods and you know, grab an acorn for yourself, an acorn for the baby on your back, and an acorn for the bag to share with the tribe later, right? Nibble, nibble, nibble. Keep your metabolism going that way. Where men, the intermittent fasting thing makes a ton of sense because they would not be eating while they were out hunting. So they, you know, they would come back to have a larger meal and then not eat for a while, that sort of thing. So the other really important thing, and this is what I consider to be the ideal diet for most people, because like if you haven't evolved from like an Inuit heritage where there were no green plants anywhere, and you know, you just have to eat seal or walrus or whale or whatever you can come across, then you're genetically not designed for that kind of diet. But what I feel the ideal diet is an anti-inflammatory diet. And what does that mean? So nothing you eat or drink is neutral. It's either feeding inflammation or fighting inflammation. And inflammation is the gateway to chronic disease. The root word of inflammation is flame. So you can think fire, heat, swelling, redness, soreness. And sometimes we think of inflammation along the lines of my back aches, but you can have inflammation in your heart, you can have inflammation in your liver, etc. So what you want to do is you want to be eating foods that fight inflammation instead of feed inflammation. The foods that fight inflammation are, in a lot of cases, things like the brightly colored fruits and vegetables. Emphasis on the vegetables. A lot of fruits have been hybridized and bred over the years to have less fiber and more sugar, which makes them less healthy and more inflammatory. So I will tell clients, you can eat blueberries by the bushel. Those things are loaded with antioxidants. They're not super high in sugar. And, you know, those are a good example of an antioxidant rich food, which is going to fight inflammation. Omega fatty acids will do that, which is why grass-fed beef is a better choice than conventionally raised beef, because the grass-fed beef has a much higher profile of omega-3 fatty acids compared to the beef that are grown in feedlot conditions. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're well hydrated. The root word of inflammation is flame, and how do you put out a fire? Water, right? So you want to make sure you're well hydrated, and then you want to choose foods that come from the earth and not from a factory, that are not laced with chemicals, and don't drink your calories. So, when I have a client with chronic pain and they're drinking 3 sodas a day, they are just adding fuel to the fire for all that pain and inflammation. And people don't realize that fruit juice does the same thing. Fruit juice is not much healthier than a soda, because it's taken all the fiber out of the plant and just concentrated the sugars. And so you're just drinking those calories and messing with your blood sugar, and again, feeding inflammation. So when it comes to diets, everyone has their favorite, but fundamentally the thing that is the best for people to do is to eat whole, natural foods with high antioxidant contents. And that's Down the Ridge with Dr. Patty. Peace out, peeps. Have a healthy day.